Welcome to our series of webinars presented by FrontRunner Professional. I'm Mark Miatello, Customer Support Representative with FrontRunner Professional. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us for this webinar. On the panel once again, Stephanie Christoph. She'll be doing the actual work that you'll see on your screen. And this webinar, we're going to be reviewing the system settings. Now, detailed information on everything that we're about to show you is available in the online manuals, and I can't stress enough that the step-by-step processes to do anything in the IMS are available in the online manual. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, put some time aside and see what's available. It's a great tool, and it's right there for you at any time. To access the manual, just select the Main tab, then Help Desk, and finally User Manual. And be sure to check the Virtual Learning Center on a regular basis. We'll be adding new webinars and training videos on a regular basis. And now on to the system settings. Now there are two ways to access your system settings, either by clicking the Quick Launch button in the lower left-hand corner and moving to the system settings, or click the icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to go directly to the settings. And the first item we're going to look at is the System Profile section. Now, the System Profile is a very important area as it is the core of where the system populates many key areas of your website. It's crucial to keep your information up to date, so you'll continue receiving important updates from IMS, including billing information and emails. The profile of your main location will load up on the right side of your screen. If your funeral home has more than one location or branch, please make sure that all the branches are listed on the left. If they're not, you can create a new profile. Now, this is optional. To create a new profile, simply click on the button in the top right of the page. And it's entitled Add New Site Branch. Now, complete or modify the information, such as the basic company information, company name, copyright name if necessary, the branch name if more than one branch is being entered. This allows the system to distinguish between the multiple branches should the company name stay the same. Business code number, enter the company's business code number there. The funeral home license number. Call volume, enter your annual call volume for the company. In the taxes section, enter your tax number. In the address and contact information, obviously enter all that pertinent information. Phone number, fax number, contact person. This is the main contact person for your company. And the contact email is, once again, the company's main contact email address. The website address, enter the URL for your website if you have one. And the email for website forms. The email for website forms is the email address or addresses where you'd like to receive the forms that are submitted by online visitors. And you can have more than one, just make sure they're separated by a comma. And once again, the email for quick search reports, same thing. You want to enter the address for which all of the quick search reports for your website will be sent to. And finally, the email for billing information. This is the email address in which all invoicing will be sent to. Now, the other section, this is where you list the communities you serve, list all the communities you serve other than your own, and separate them with a comma. And below that, the list any additional keywords you'd like to use. This section is where you enter your competing funeral homes or other words that will help with search engine rankings. If a visitor searches for any of these keywords, there's a good chance your company name is going to appear in the search. Now, you can include up to 250 characters within each box and list all your competing funeral homes and any other information, but be sure to separate each one with a comma. The checkbox Show Birthdays on the Web. Place a check mark inside that box if you'd like the deceased's birthdays to show on your website. When all this is complete, make sure you select the Save button. The IMS uses this information for billing purposes to contact you and send you email correspondence. Please keep this information up to date at all times. Now we're going to move over to the general settings. And the first thing you see here in the general settings is the number of days a record is current. Use the drop-down to select how many days you'd like a record to appear as a current service on your website. System starts counting at the date of death, and once the number of days selected is reached, your records don't get deleted, and they're not removed from your site. They simply move to the past service records. Now, the default is set at 15 days, but you can lower that down to 1 or increase the number as high as 60 days. Now, guestbook monitoring email. Enter the funeral home email address in which all condolence messages will be sent to, so you get a notification when a condolence has been left. For online flower ordering, use the drop-down box to select whether or not you'd like visitors to be able to order flowers online. The flower orders do not get processed through your website, by the way. Now, the flower ordering URL, you can enter the URL you want your visitors to see if online flower ordering is set to yes, and there are 3 options for the URL. You can enter the URL of one flower shop you use, or you can enter the URL of the flower shop's page located on your website, and if you leave it blank, it will automatically go to 1-800-Flowers. So when you've got that all set up, make sure you select the Save button. And next we're going to move over to the Fields section. Now here it's possible to customize and even remove fields from your records. Now just click on the section you'd like to edit. For each field listed, you may keep the box checked if you wish to keep the field active, or uncheck it if you don't want it showing up in the record. You can also customize it to make it your own field name in the custom label field on the right-hand side. Now, it's important to understand that you can change the fields to a similar name, but the field must capture the same information. For example, the date of death field cannot become the place of birth field. It's just not going to work that way. But it can be renamed to DOD if that's what you use more often at the funeral home. Once you've made your changes through all the different areas, and obviously save the work you've done. We'll show you user profiles next. Now, we highly recommend that each person who will be logging into your IMS has their own username and password set up. This helps track the activity of each user in the system. Now, if you're adding a new user, select the button in the top right and then complete the following mandatory fields. You're going to have to enter a username, a password, verify that password, provide a security question, something that only you would know, provide the answer to the question, and of course we'll get down to the first name and last name and email address. You can also put in their license number should they have one. At the bottom of that list, you'll see a little checkbox labeled User is an Administrator. Check that box if the user is going to be doing any invoicing through the IMS, or if they need to access the user profiles. If they don't have that checked, they won't be able to see certain things within the system. When it's all done, select the Save button and repeat as many times as you need to add as many users as you need. And that's basically how you utilize the system settings in the IMS. Now, I hope you found that information very useful. Should you have any questions or need further help, you can always check the online manual. And, of course, you can always contact us at support@frontrunnerpro.com. Thank you for your time.